Let me tell you something that changed my life. You don't become unstoppable by accident. You become unstoppable by design. And that design, it's built on your daily habits, your daily disciplines, the things you do when no one's watching. Most people wake up every morning reacting to life. The alarm goes off, the phone starts buzzing, and they rush into the chaos. They check messages, scroll through distractions, answer to everyone else's priorities, and by the time they look up, the day is already running them. But you see, the people who rise above, the ones who create success on purpose, they don't live that way. They build, they design, they choose who they become long before the world demands anything from them. Now, let me make something clear. Success isn't built on massive changes overnight. It's built on the quiet, consistent disciplines repeated day after day. It's not about doing everything at once. It's about doing the right things consistently, even when no one claps, even when no one notices. And that's what separates the average from the except, because you can't rise by accident. You can't stumble into greatness. You build it one choice at a time. You know, I used to wonder why some people seem to move through life with power and purpose while others just drifted, why some found momentum while others stayed stuck in the same routine, the same story. I thought maybe it was luck, maybe it was talent, maybe it was opportunity. But then I learned the truth. It's not luck, it's not talent, it's not even intelligence, it's habits. It's the invisible rituals shaping who you are when no one's watching. It's what you choose to do with your time telling you. And in this message, I want to share with you what truly made me unstoppable. Not some secret, not some hack, but a set of principles. Daily habits that brought order to my day, clarity to my thinking, and power to my actions. Because once you master your habits, you master your direction. And once you master your direction, you master your destiny. So if you're tired of feeling stuck, if you've ever felt like life keeps passing you by, if you know deep down you're capable of more but you don't know where to begin, then listen carefully. Don't just watch, don't just nod. Study this, because one idea, one shift, one habit can change everything. One decision practiced daily can rewrite your entire story. Now, let's begin. Habit 1. Plan your day before it begins. Let me give you one of the most powerful ideas you'll ever hear. Don't start your day until it's finished. Now you might be thinking, what does that even mean? It means this. Never walk into a day unprepared. Never wake up and wonder what to do next. Because if you don't run your day will run you. And if you don't have a plan, trust me, someone else does. The world is full of people ready to pull you into their urgency, their chaos, their goals. And if you don't decide your priorities, you'll end up living by someone else's. See, most people live by reaction, not by intention. They wake up and instantly give away their focus, checking their phone, answering notifications, scrolling through other people's lives. And they call that living. But that's not living, that's surviving. That's drifting through the day without direction, without design. And you deserve better than that. The truth is, the difference between being busy and being productive is the plan. A plan gives your day structure. It gives your time purpose. It gives your effort direction. And most importantly, it gives you control. Because without a plan, you're surrendering your peace to the randomness of the day. But when you plan, you take back control, not just of your schedule, but of your emotions, your focus, your energy. And here's what I do. Before my day ends, I sit down and ask myself one question. What are the 3 most important things I need to do tomorrow? Not 30, just 3. Because success doesn't come from doing everything, it comes from doing the right things. And when I write them down, not type them, write them, they become real. When it's on paper, your mind recognizes it as a command, a mission. And when your mind has a mission, you start the day with direction, not confusion. Writing it down forces clarity. It eliminates the noise. It tells your subconscious exactly what to focus on because your brain loves instruction. When you give it purpose, it delivers. And when you don't, it drifts. Planning is not about controlling every detail. It's about guiding your energy toward what matters most. And when you do that, you stop reacting and start creating. And there's something else that happens when you plan. You walk differently. You wake up calmer. You stop rushing. You start leading your day instead of chasing it. People can feel it. They see that quiet confidence, that focus, that sense that you're already 2 steps ahead. And let me tell you something. There's a kind of magic in being ahead, in walking into your day already knowing what matters, already knowing who you want to be. So here's the question I leave you with. When will you start finishing your day before it begins? Because that's where transformation starts. Don't leave your life to luck. Don't leave your growth to chance. Start each day with clarity, with intention, with discipline, because the person who plans the day wins the day. So tonight, before your head hits the pillow, take 10 quiet minutes, turn off the noise, close your eyes, and ask yourself, what will make tomorrow meaningful? What will move me forward? What deserves my energy? Write it down, commit to it, and then tomorrow, when you wake up, you'll feel it. That calm confidence of someone in control of their time, their focus, and their life. And that's how it begins. Not with luck, not with chance, but with design. Habit 2, feed your mind with wisdom. Your mind is the engine behind every dream, every decision, every version of yourself that you've ever wanted to become. Yet most people, without realizing it, fill that engine with junk, gossip, fear, noise, distraction, and then wonder why their life keeps breaking down. Let me tell you something I learned the hard way. Your mind is like a garden. You can plant flowers or you can grow weeds, but something will always grow. What you feed it, it becomes. What you allow in becomes your reality. I used to tell myself I didn't have time to read, to learn, to grow. I had time to scroll, time to watch, time to complain, but not time to invest in my mind. And that's when it hit me. The world will never give you time to improve yourself. You have to take it. You have to decide that your mind is too valuable to leave it starving. Because if you don't feed your mind wisdom, the world will feed it noise. The truth is, success doesn't begin with money, opportunity, or talent. It begins with perspective. Every choice you make, every chance you take is filtered through how you think. If you think small, you'll live small. If you think average, you'll act average. But if you think with clarity, with confidence, with vision, you'll begin to see opportunities where others only see obstacles. And that kind of thinking doesn't come by accident. It comes by training your mind like a muscle. So here's what changed everything for me. I made it a rule, not a wish, to feed my mind every single day. No excuses, books, podcasts, lectures, conversations with mentors, anything that challenged me to think differently, to expand my view of what was possible. And it didn't have to be long, just 10 pages, just 20 minutes, just a moment of focused feeding. Because wisdom compounds. 10 pages a day becomes 10 books a year. 10 books a year can change the way you see the world forever. People underestimate what a single idea can do. One sentence, one paragraph from the right book can shift your mindset, change your direction, and alter the course of your entire life. The problem is, most people never give themselves the chance to hear that sentence. They fill the quiet with distraction, and then they wonder why their mind feels heavy, why their confidence fades, why their vision gets blurry. Think about it. Your mind is constantly taking notes. It's recording what you see, what you hear, what you say. If you constantly feed it negativity, it will build a life of fear. But if you feed it truth, inspiration, wisdom, it will start constructing a stronger version of you from the inside out. It's not magic. It's momentum. Every idea you feed your mind becomes a seed that eventually shapes your world. Now, I'm not telling you to read everything. I'm telling you to choose wisely. Read what elevates you. Listen to voices that challenge you to grow, not the ones that confirm your comfort zone. Find ideas that stretch your understanding of success, discipline, faith, leadership, love. Build your inner library with content that makes you think deeper, not just feel entertained. Because the mind that's entertained too much forgets how to create. And here's a truth most people ignore. Wisdom doesn't just make you smarter, it makes you stronger. Because when life hits hard, motivation fades fast. But wisdom holds you steady. When everything feels uncertain, wisdom whispers direction. When you want to quit, wisdom reminds you why you started. That's why feeding your mind is more than a habit, it's survival. Imagine this. You wake up, the world throws problems your way. People disappoint you, plans fall apart. But inside, you're calm. Not because life is easy, but because your mind is strong, because you've been training it, protecting it, feeding it truth instead of fear. That's the power of wisdom. It doesn't stop the storm, it builds a shelter inside you. So let me challenge you. Starting today, make it a non-negotiable habit. Feed your mind before the world feeds you chaos. 10 minutes before you open your phone. 10 pages before you scroll through the noise. Every day without fail. Because your future is hidden in what you feed your mind today. 1 year from now, you could be the same person with the same excuses, or you could be a version of yourself you can barely recognize. Sharper, calmer, wiser, unstoppable. The difference won't be luck. It will be what you chose to plant in your mind. Feed your mind with wisdom and watch your entire life begin to rise to meet it. Habit 3, move your body, master your energy. There's a truth most people ignore until it's too late. Your body is not just a vessel, it's your foundation. It carries your dreams, your focus, your willpower. And no matter how strong your mind is, if your body is weak, tired, or neglected, everything else begins to fall apart. You can have the greatest plan, the clearest vision, the deepest purpose, but without energy, none of it comes to life. I learned that lesson in a painful way. There were days I had the ambition, but not the strength. I wanted to move mountains, but couldn't even move myself. I'd stay up late working, chasing success, believing that rest was weakness. But slowly my clarity faded, my patience ran thin, and my fire started to dim. That's when I understood. You can't build greatness on exhaustion. You can't create your best life with a body running on empty. Taking care of your body isn't vanity, it's strategy. It's discipline, it's self-respect, because your body is the tool through which you execute everything else. When you move, when you breathe, when you push through the discomfort of effort, you awaken something powerful within you. Energy, confidence, focus. It's not about perfection, it's about motion. And listen, you don't need to run marathons or spend hours in a gym. This isn't about impressing anyone, it's about honoring the gift of life you've been given. Your body doesn't need punishment, it needs movement, care, attention, a walk in the morning, a stretch before bed, a moment to breathe deeply instead of rushing into your day. These aren't small things, they're acts of alignment. They tell your mind, I'm in control, I'm awake, I'm alive. Movement is momentum, and momentum changes everything. The simple act of moving your body has the power to shift your entire emotional state. Have you ever noticed that when you're stuck in a bad mood, all it takes is a walk, a workout, a song, something that gets your body moving, and suddenly the problem feels smaller, your thoughts clearer? That's not coincidence, that's biology. Your body and mind are partners, and one feeds the other. When you move your body, you don't just build muscles, you build discipline. You build trust with yourself. Every time you say, I'll move today, and you do, you reinforce a message in your subconscious. I keep my promises. That's where confidence comes from, not from results, but from self-respect. Energy is not found, it's created. It's the byproduct of consistency. The more you move, the more energy you generate. The more energy you have, the more fully you show up in life, in your work, your relationships, your purpose. You begin to live with presence instead of just surviving through fatigue. And let me tell you something I wish I had known earlier. Your body remembers. Every good habit, every small act of movement, every breath you take with intention, it stores that memory. It rewards you with clarity, strength, focus. It thanks you by letting you do the things you dream about doing. On the other hand, every time you ignore it, every time you feed it poorly, deprive it of rest, or treat it as an afterthought, it remembers that too. And eventually, it collects the debt. So make the decision now to respect your body as the vehicle for your future. Feed it clean fuel, give it sunlight, move it daily, not because you have to, but because you get to, because movement is a privilege denied to many. You don't have to transform overnight. Start with 20 minutes a day. Walk, stretch, dance, train, just move. Build a routine that honors your energy instead of draining it, because motion isn't about burning calories, it's about igniting your purpose. When your body is strong, your mind becomes unstoppable. You think clearer, speak with conviction, carry yourself with confidence. People feel it before you even say a word. You radiate strength, not arrogance, but the calm assurance of someone in control of themselves. Remember this, success is not only mental, it's physical. The strongest ideas mean nothing if your body can't sustain them. You can't lead others if you can't lead yourself through your own fatigue. You can't inspire if your energy is empty. So move your body like your future depends on it, because it does. Master your energy, and life will follow your lead. Each step, each breath, each moment of deliberate movement is a reminder that you are alive, capable, and in control. The body is your first home. Take care of it, and it will take care of everything else. Habit 4, review your goals daily. Most people drift through life not because they lack ambition, but because they lose direction. They start with a spark, a dream, a goal that excites them, and for a moment it feels unstoppable. But then the noise begins, the distractions, the routines, the doubts, and without even realizing it, that dream starts to fade into the background, buried beneath the weight of real life. Days turn into weeks, weeks into months, and suddenly the fire that once burned inside them feels distant, not gone, just forgotten. I learned something powerful about goals. They don't just guide your actions, they anchor your purpose. But an anchor only works when it's set daily. Writing a goal once, feeling inspired for a moment, and then leaving it in a notebook doesn't change anything. What changes you is revisiting it, visualizing it, and reminding yourself every single day of what you're truly working toward. See, the human mind is designed to forget. It gets caught up in what's urgent, not what's important. And if you don't take time each day to realign yourself with your direction, you'll wake up one day wondering how you ended up somewhere you never meant to go. That's why the simple act of reviewing your goals every morning is so powerful. It's not about rewriting them. It's about reminding your brain who you are and what matters most before the world tells you who to be. Think about how a pilot operates. Before every flight, no matter how many times they've done it, they review the route. They check every system, every direction, every destination. They don't assume they remember it all, they verify. Because when you're in the air, small deviations turn into big detours. Life works the same way. A few days without direction, a few distractions, and suddenly you're miles off course. Reviewing your goals is your daily recalibration. It's how you make sure you're flying toward your future, not away from it. Here's the truth. Goals are like magnets, but they only pull you forward if you keep them close. When you stop looking at them, they lose their pull. They fade, and then the world's noise fills the gap. You start chasing the things that feel urgent but mean nothing. You start responding instead of creating. But when you keep your goals in front of you, when you read them, see them, speak them, they begin to reprogram your mind. You start filtering your choices through purpose. You start acting with intention. You start saying no to what doesn't fit your mission. And this isn't just about motivation, it's about clarity. Reviewing your goals every day creates a mental focus that most people never experience. You begin to notice opportunities that align with your vision. You start connecting dots you couldn't see before. It's like cleaning the lens through which you see your life. The clearer the image, the more confidently you move. When I started doing this, I didn't just write my goals, I visualized them. I'd take a few minutes each morning to read them out loud, to imagine how it would feel once they became real. I didn't do it for magic, I did it for direction. Because the brain moves toward what it recognizes, and it can only recognize what it repeatedly sees. The mind can't chase what it forgets. So every morning before the world speaks, I review my goals. I read them, I feel them. I ask myself, what one step can I take today that moves me closer to this? That single question changes everything, because success isn't about doing everything at once. It's about doing something that matters every day. Don't wait for January 1st to look at your goals. Don't wait for the new year, the perfect time, the next opportunity. Look at them now, today, every morning. Review them like a commander studying the mission before the battle. Because that's what you are, the commander of your own future. And if you ever feel lost, if you ever catch yourself wondering what happened to your fire, go back to your goals. Read them, speak them, let them remind you of the person you promised yourself you'd become. Because the moment you reconnect with that vision, the moment you remember your why, everything else starts to realign. Your energy returns, your focus sharpens, your motivation reignites. So here's what I want you to do. Write down your top 3 goals. Keep them where you can see them, on your mirror, on your phone, in your journal. Don't hide them, don't bury them. Look at them every single day, because repetition builds belief, and belief builds behavior. And over time, your behavior will carve the path toward your vision. Remember this, you don't rise to the level of your dreams, you fall to the level of your daily habits. And reviewing your goals daily is the bridge between intention and action, between desire and discipline. The future doesn't belong to those who wish. It belongs to those who prepare, one focused, intentional day at a time. Habit 5, practice gratitude intentionally. There's a power most people overlook, a quiet force that can turn the most ordinary day into something extraordinary. Gratitude. We live in a world that teaches us to chase more. More money, more validation, more success, more everything. And yet, the more we chase, the emptier we often feel. Because no matter how far you run, if you can't appreciate what you already have, you'll never find peace in what you're chasing. Gratitude doesn't make life perfect. It makes life clear. It turns what you have into enough and what's ahead into possibility. For a long time, I misunderstood gratitude. I thought it was something you expressed when things were good, when life was kind, when the pieces fell into place. But real gratitude, the kind that changes your state, your focus, your energy, is built in the moments when life isn't easy, when you wake up tired, when the plan falls apart, when you feel unseen or misunderstood. Gratitude, real gratitude, is not a reaction. It's a decision. It's training your mind to see the blessing buried beneath the burden. Here's the truth. Your mind is always searching for evidence to support how you feel. If you wake up and focus on what's wrong, your brain will find it. Every problem, every flaw, every reason to stay frustrated. But if you train yourself to look for what's right, to notice the small victories, the quiet gifts, the simple moments, your brain will begin to build a new pattern. It will start filtering the world through abundance, not lack. And that shift alone can transform everything. I remember a period in my life when I was chasing success so hard that I stopped seeing life. I was achieving but not feeling. I'd hit goals and instantly move to the next one, never stopping to breathe, to notice, to appreciate. And one day, it hit me. I wasn't tired from working too much. I was tired from never feeling fulfilled. That's when I started a simple practice that changed me more than anything else. Every morning, I wrote down 3 things I was grateful for. Not big things, not material things, simple things. The sound of rain, a phone call from someone who cared, the ability to try again. At first it felt small, almost trivial, but then something started to happen. My energy shifted. My conversations changed. I stopped rushing through moments and started living inside them. Gratitude made me present. It slowed my mind down long enough to notice what was actually working in my life instead of obsessing over what wasn't. See, gratitude doesn't ignore pain. It balances it. It doesn't deny what's wrong. It simply refuses to let it consume you. You can be grateful and still hungry for more. You can be thankful and still strive for better. Gratitude doesn't make you passive. It makes you powerful. Because when you focus on what you already have, you stop operating from scarcity and start moving from strength. Think about it. How can you build a better life if all you see are the pieces missing? How can you love deeper if all you notice are flaws? Gratitude trains your eyes to see what's already good, and from that place of appreciation, growth becomes natural. You build more because you're not trying to fill a void. You're expanding from fullness. And something remarkable happens when you live with gratitude. You start to attract better. People feel your energy, your peace, your groundedness. You become lighter, calmer, more magnetic, because gratitude changes how you speak, how you listen, how you show up. It replaces the language of complaint with the language of appreciation. It turns comparison into perspective. It transforms ordinary interactions into moments of connection. Every day, you have a choice to focus on what's missing or to honor what's present. One mindset drains you, the other restores you. And it's not about pretending life is perfect. It's about recognizing that even in imperfection, there's beauty, there's lesson, there's growth. So here's my challenge for you. Every morning, before you check your phone, before you open your to-do list, write down 3 things you're grateful for. Don't just list them, feel them. Let that feeling sit in your chest for a few seconds, breathe it in, because that moment of awareness will shape how you face everything that follows. And when life gets hard, when nothing seems to go your way, that's when gratitude matters most. That's when it becomes a practice of strength, not comfort. Say thank you anyway. Thank you for the lesson. Thank you for the patience. Thank you for the chance to try again. Because that mindset, that discipline of appreciation will carry you further than any motivation ever could. Remember this, gratitude isn't the result of happiness. It's the foundation of it. You don't become grateful because life is good. Life becomes good because you are grateful. So stop waiting for the perfect moment to feel thankful. Start where you are with what you have right now. Because the person who can find peace in the small things will never be defeated by the big ones. Gratitude doesn't just make you unstoppable, it makes you unshakable. Habit 6, speak with purpose and positivity. There's a quiet power that most people never learn to use, their voice. Not the sound of it, but the intention behind it. The words you speak every day are not harmless. They're seeds. Every sentence you plant grows into something. Belief or doubt, courage or fear, creation or destruction. And whether you realize it or not, your life is always echoing back what you say most often. It took me years to understand that words don't just describe our world, they build it. I used to speak carelessly, like my words didn't carry weight. I'd say things like, I'm tired, I'm broke, nothing ever works out for me. I thought I was just being honest. But what I was really doing was programming myself to stay exactly where I was. My words were reinforcing the limitations I was trying to escape. One day, someone told me, if you wouldn't want it written on your wall, don't say it out loud. That line hit me hard, because if you think about it, every word that leaves your mouth is an instruction to your mind. When you speak, your subconscious listens. When you repeat negativity, it takes it as truth. It doesn't question whether you mean it, it just obeys. And that's when I realized the same voice that tears you down can be trained to lift you up. The same mouth that complains can be used to create. When you begin to speak with intention, your life begins to shift. Because your words shape your mindset shapes your behavior, and your behavior shapes your reality. Now, this isn't about fake positivity. It's not about pretending everything is fine when it's not. It's about choosing your focus. It's about directing your energy toward what you want to grow, not what you want to escape. The truth is, you can't build a strong life with weak language. You can't live with power while speaking powerlessness. Have you ever noticed how successful, grounded people speak? They're clear. They're deliberate. They speak of possibility, of responsibility, of faith. They don't waste words on gossip or self-pity. Their speech reflects discipline, not arrogance, but awareness. They understand that words create atmosphere. The moment they enter a room, their tone sets the temperature, and that's not luck, that's mastery. Your words can be the most powerful tool in your transformation if you learn to use them consciously. Start by paying attention to how you talk about yourself. Do you criticize more than you encourage? Do you speak more about what's wrong than what's possible? If your words were a mirror, would you like the reflection? Because that reflection is what the world sees long before they see your results. Here's what I began to practice. I stopped describing my problems and I started declaring my direction. Instead of saying, I can't handle this, I said, I'm learning how to handle this. Instead of I'm stuck, I said, I'm getting stronger. Those tiny shifts in language changed how I felt, how I thought, and how I acted. Because when you speak hope, your brain starts searching for solutions instead of excuses. Words are also how you lead others. One sentence from you can ignite someone's confidence or destroy it. A word of belief can change a person's entire day, sometimes their entire life. Think about it. Every great movement, every great idea, every great transformation in history began with words, a declaration, a vision spoken aloud. That's how powerful language is. But with that power comes responsibility, because the opposite is also true. Negativity spreads faster than truth. Gossip, criticism, and complaint may feel good for a moment, but they leave poison in the air. They weaken you without you realizing it. They drain your energy and your focus. If you want to live at a higher level, you must protect your language the way you protect your peace. Speaking with purpose doesn't mean being loud, it means being clear. It means knowing what you stand for and letting your words reflect it. It means speaking life into your goals, into your relationships, into yourself. It means catching the negative thought before it escapes your lips and replacing it with one that moves you forward. Try this. Every day, say 3 things out loud. 1 thing you believe about your future, 1 thing you appreciate about yourself, and 1 thing you want to see grow in your life. Speak them clearly, even if your voice shakes, because the moment you speak your vision, it begins to take shape. The energy you send out through your words always finds its way back. And don't underestimate the small conversations, the way you speak to strangers, co-workers, friends, family. Every word carries a ripple. You never know who's listening or how deeply they might need what you're about to say. Speak as if your words are building something, and because they are. Remember, your voice can be a weapon or a tool, a wound or a cure. Choose it wisely. Don't use your words to describe your limits. Use them to design your future. Speak as if the world is listening, because it is. But more importantly, so are you. The greatest power you will ever have isn't in your hands, it's in your mouth. Speak with purpose, speak with vision, speak with faith, because the moment you change your language, you start to change your life. Habit 7, reflect, refine, and prepare for tomorrow. Most people end their day by simply surviving it. They come home exhausted, distracted, scrolling through noise, waiting for sleep to claim what's left of their energy. And in that silence, they miss the most valuable part of the day, the opportunity to learn from it. Because life isn't meant to be rushed through, it's meant to be studied. Every day carries a lesson, but only those who pause long enough to reflect ever find it. Reflection is not dwelling on the past, It's mining it for wisdom. It's the difference between repeating mistakes and refining your path. Too many people wake up every morning asking for a better day while dragging the weight of yesterday behind them. They never stop to ask, what did I learn? What needs to change? What did I do well? Reflection is how you close that gap. It's how you turn experience into growth. I used to think progress came only from action, from doing more, pushing harder, chasing faster. But then I realized growth doesn't just come from movement, it comes from awareness. You can't improve what you refuse to examine. And sometimes the most powerful step forward begins with sitting still and asking yourself honest questions. At the end of every day, I started doing something simple. I took 10 quiet minutes before bed, no phone, no noise, and I reviewed the day. Not to criticize myself, but to understand myself. I'd ask 3 questions. What did I do well today? What could I have done better? And what will I change tomorrow? Those 3 questions changed everything. They taught me how to turn failure into feedback, exhaustion into insight, and confusion into clarity. Reflection is how you sharpen your edge. It's the pause between effort and excellence. It's the moment where you stop reacting and start refining. Think of it like this. A sculptor doesn't just keep carving without stopping. They step back, observe, adjust. That's how they bring shape to the stone. You are no different. If you never step back to look at your own life, you'll spend it hacking away without direction. But reflection alone isn't enough. You must refine. To refine means to improve deliberately, to take what you've learned and adjust your approach. Maybe today you lost your temper. Maybe you wasted time. Maybe you hesitated when you should have acted. Fine. Don't shame yourself for it. Study it. Ask why. Learn from it. Because awareness without adjustment is just regret disguised as reflection. True refinement is action born from understanding. And once you reflect and refine, you prepare. Because growth doesn't end when the day does. It resets. Preparation is the bridge between who you were today and who you'll be tomorrow. It's setting your intentions, aligning your focus, clearing your mind so that when you wake up, you start from clarity, not chaos. 10 minutes of planning at night can save you hours of frustration in the morning. Think about how many people go to bed anxious, replaying mistakes, worrying about what's next, scrolling to numb the noise. But what if instead of carrying that mental clutter to bed, you released it? What if you looked at the day honestly, took the lesson, forgave yourself for the rest, and then wrote down what tomorrow will look like? That's not just self-discipline, that's self-leadership. And leadership always starts within. The truth is, we don't grow from time passing. We grow from time processed. You can live 10 years of unexamined days and never move an inch forward. But give me 1 year of reflection, refinement, and preparation, and you'll outgrow the version of yourself you thought you'd be forever stuck with. And there's another benefit no one talks about: peace. Reflection calms the mind because it gives your struggles a place to go. Instead of letting thoughts swirl endlessly, you lay them down, sort them out, and leave them where they belong, in the past with purpose. That's why I call it closing the loop. You don't carry unfinished thoughts into your sleep. You end your day clean, clear, and prepared for what's next. If you live each day on purpose, you won't waste years by accident. Small hinges swing big doors. 10 minutes of awareness can change the direction of your life. The person who reflects learns faster. The person who refines grows stronger. The person who prepares moves further. So tonight, before you close your eyes, do what most people won't. Stop, breathe, and look back with intention. Don't just replay the day, understand it. Don't just regret it, redeem it. Because success isn't about being perfect, it's about being aware. And awareness, when practiced daily, becomes wisdom. Reflect on your day, refine your choices, prepare your path, then rest. Because tomorrow deserves the best version of you, and that version is built one mindful night at a time. Habit 8, protect your focus as if your life depends on it, because it does. Every person has dreams, but very few have focus. In a world that never stops talking, where distraction is sold as entertainment and noise has become normal, focus has turned into a superpower. You can be intelligent, talented, disciplined, but if you can't stay focused, you'll never reach the depth of your potential, because nothing great is ever built in fragments. We live in an age where everyone's attention is up for sale. Notifications, emails, trends, opinions, all of them pulling at your mind like hands reaching from every direction. You sit down to work for an hour, and before you know it, half your energy is gone. Not because you did too much, but because you tried to do too many things at once. And that's the silent thief of greatness. Not failure, not rejection, but distraction. I used to think productivity meant doing more, filling every hour, every minute, checking boxes until I felt accomplished. But that's not productivity, that's busyness dressed in disguise. Real progress isn't about speed, it's about depth. It's about giving your full attention to what truly matters and ignoring everything else long enough to create something meaningful. Focus is not something you find, it's something you protect. You don't stumble into concentration. You build it, you guard it, you train it like a muscle. The more you let distractions rule you, the weaker that muscle becomes. But every time you choose to focus, every time you silence the noise, close the unnecessary tabs, put down the phone, and stay with one task until it's done, you strengthen that muscle. Here's the truth no one tells you. The world rewards those who finish, not those who start. Ideas are easy. Completion is rare, and the bridge between the two is focus. Every person who has ever achieved something remarkable has had to face the same temptation, the pull to quit, to shift, to chase something new before finishing what's in front of them. What separates the achievers from the dreamers isn't talent, it's the discipline to stay locked in when everyone else is drifting. Let me ask you, how much of your life have you already given to distractions that brought you nothing in return? How many times have you set out to do something important, only to end up scrolling, answering messages, checking updates, losing hours to noise that added no value? Those moments add up. They steal not just your time, but your potential. Because every minute you give away without intention is a piece of your future you'll never get back. So, how do you protect your focus in a world designed to break it? It starts with boundaries. You cannot have deep focus without firm limits. That means learning to say no, not out of arrogance, but out of purpose. No to unnecessary meetings. No to constant interruptions. No to the idea that being available means being valuable. You owe your best energy to your mission, not to every random request that crosses your path. Next, control your environment. Don't wait for perfect conditions. Create them. If your surroundings constantly pull your attention away, change them. Silence notifications. Clear your workspace. Design your day to eliminate decision fatigue, because focus thrives in clarity, and clarity begins with order. And perhaps most importantly, learn to single task. The world glorifies multitasking, but your brain isn't built for it. Every time you switch between tasks, you lose momentum. You dilute your effectiveness. Focus is about immersion, diving deep into one thing until it's done, not skimming the surface of many things and wondering why you feel exhausted but unfulfilled. Focus also means emotional discipline. Not every thought deserves your attention. Not every reaction deserves your energy. There will always be something trying to pull you off course. Frustration, fear, distraction disguised as opportunity. But the person who learns to stay calm, to stay centered, to stay focused amidst the noise, that person becomes unstoppable. When you master focus, you master time. You start accomplishing in hours what others can't do in days, because your energy isn't scattered, it's concentrated, like light through a lens. And what happens when light is focused? It burns. That's what focus does to potential. It ignites it. Every great leader, every artist, every innovator you admire, they all share one habit. They know how to shut the door. They know how to disappear for a while, to disconnect from the noise long enough to reconnect with their purpose. Greatness doesn't happen in public. It happens in silence. It happens in the hours no one sees, when the world is sleeping and you're still locked in, creating something that will outlast the distractions that tried to stop you. So tonight, I want you to make a decision, a real one. Choose what deserves your attention and let go of everything else. Protect your focus like your life depends on it, because it does. The quality of your focus determines the quality of your future. One day you'll look back and realize that the difference between who you were and who you became wasn't luck or talent, it was focus. The ability to choose one thing and give it everything. That's how the noise fades. That's how greatness is built. That's how you take control of your destiny. Not by doing more, but by mastering the power to focus on what truly matters.